everyone, and welcome back to the Butter Pod. I have an exciting episode for you today. Obviously, things are a little different. We're doing Zooms. We're doing a NZIFBB series. This is part one. Obviously, I've got my main man, Frank, here. How are you, Frank?
Good, I'm good.
We're just trying to work out this technical whole thing with Zoom, so just bear with us if it's not great. Okay, it's the first one. So yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing a NZIFBB series. Frank and I are going to be wrapping up a few of the competitions. Both him and I are competing this season, so this is going to be a really fun way to sort of explore it, and also we both have clients competing, so kind of all avenues of the whole thing. So it's going to be really cool. Today's episode is going to be about the very first competition of the season, which Frank Carroll competed in himself, which was at the Auckland Champs. And that was on the 20th of May. So we're going to go through that whole competition first. And then not long after this episode is going to be a second episode following up on Body of Steel, which was a great show as well. So let's get into it, Frank? Let's just dive straight into the deep end.
Right.
So you competed in that first show, the 20th of May, which was the Auckland Champs. Just really quickly, did you enjoy yourself? Was it a good show? Just give us a little brief rundown of how it all went.
Yeah, I did enjoy myself. It was a good show, and I guess the standout thing for that show was the crowd.
Yeah,
it was probably one of the best attended crowds in the audience that I'd been to for a long time.
Yeah,
and quite ironically, because it was one of the smallest shows that has run for a long time as well.
Yeah, 100%.
But like they ran with it, and they worked it to their advantage, and they made it a really, really nice show to be at. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, small, hey, but powerful.
Yeah.
Cool, I agree. Yeah, it was not a lot of people on the stage in each category. We'll go through each one together, each division and whatnot. But it was a small show, but it was packed, man. There was so many people. I guess the first show of the season, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was because you're on the stage, Frank's back, so everyone's got to turn up. All the blondies are there, the whole squad. Also, I'm just going to mention just quickly before we dive any deeper that obviously this is all our opinions of the comp. This isn't affiliated with IFBB. We're not like one of their affiliates trying to like push the federation, but we love the federation, obviously. That's why we're a huge part of it. So I just wanted to share that this is our opinions, but all of the placings and everything are completely accurate, and all of the info that we share is from NZIFBB. So so it was a good show. So it was in Auckland. Where was it? Can you remind us all where the location of the show? Can you remember? It was a school, and I've been there before, but I couldn't remember the name of the school.
Sacred Heart.
That's it, Sacred Heart. Yeah, I keep thinking of different ones. I was like, fuck, it's not that one. But Sacred Heart College, hey, and there's been a few shows there before. What do you think of that location?
I actually think it's a good location, and I quite like the venue as well.
Yeah.
It's a decent stage. It's a good auditorium. Like, no, it handles it well.
Yeah, it does. It's quite a nice, like, you think school, you're like, oh, that must be pretty small and stuff, but it's really nice, and they do a good job of it, and they have all the proper seating, and nice stage too to watch from the audience, and I'm sure, as you know, to be on as well. Low competitor numbers. Why do you think that is? Let's dive into that. So obviously the smallest show probably of the season, I reckon, hands down, because you're only going to get bigger, probably closer to nationals. But tell me from your point of view, you've been in this game a long time. Why do you think it was such low numbers?
I think, like, speaking from the perspective of a coach, bringing athletes into shows, that the more time you've got to work with somebody, the better their result's going to be. And so I think that's probably the main point, is that it just allows people more time to be more ready. I don't think, not many people want to be hustling through Christmas, through summer. And so it just sort of makes sense that they get that time to enjoy summer, and then, have the time to bring a good package at a later show. And then I think also some people just don't like to be in prep for that long. So I think, I finished that show, and that left me with another 20 weeks to go to nationals, which for me, from my perspective, I like that. I think, especially as an enhanced competitor, to be able to have a decent break between, I think it's a solid point that, I would hope that people took note of that as well.
Yeah.
It just means that you get to peak, and then you get to peak better later, and have had the opportunity to look after yourself in the middle.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I would say that's the two main reasons. There's been people say like affordability, the economy, and stuff like that, but I don't think that so much. I think that sort of people just sort of freaking out, going, "Why have these shows been small?" But really, I think it just comes down to people want to put more time into it. Coaches are saying more and more now, the more time you put into it, the better it's going to get, and so it just sort of makes sense, eh?
For sure. Yeah, I agree. And Nationals is October, right? Like you said, it was 20 weeks from your show. So it's quite a way out. And a lot of people are choosing to do maybe Waikato because like myself, because it's 2 weeks before National. So, I mean, you only have to have that peak week twice in 1 month, 2 times in 1 month, and then it's over. So feels a little bit easier the first timers like myself, hey? A little bit different.
Well, I wouldn't lean into easy, but
not easy. No, but maybe a little bit less intimidating, maybe is the best way to put it.
yeah, definitely a lot less intimidating. Yeah,
that's probably the best way to put it. Hey, what was the atmosphere like backstage at the show since you were back there? And it was kind of small, but was it a vibe?
Yeah, it was still a vibe. I think for the last couple of seasons now, the vibes it's getting better and better. People backstage they're there with each other. They know what everyone's been through. They want to have a good time and go to war on stage. But there's a camaraderie. There's an understanding. From what I see now compared to like earlier, people are just like getting along better, hyping each other up, helping people get ready. Cool.
Yeah, I love that. That's pretty cool. Hey, it's nice. Was it, because I'm sure you've done like really, really big shows and really small shows. Was it pretty much the same? Was it just like a nice like atmosphere back there, or was it actually quite a lot different just due to the size?
It was like a lot less chaotic, right?
Yeah, true.
And sometimes that can be sort of what throws people is, just getting the show to run, organizing all the athletes, and then, you've got your guys helping everyone sort of know when they need to be on from backstage, and they're trying to get people ready, but then things happen different on stage and people end up running longer than they're meant to. And so when you're told you're going to be on stage in 10 minutes and it now gets pushed out to 15, it can cause a little bit of anxiety and disruption to people's, pumps and stuff like that. So this show being smaller ran real smooth, but I will say, again, like from last season, NZIFBB are getting really good at fine-tuning the way that their shows run out. So I think it's just, I think that's the way it's going now. They've been in it for long, that they're getting it fine-tuned and making it better for everyone.
Yeah, I love that. And just at the smaller shows, you get more stage time, hey? Like, it was quite cool having the girls do their full bikini, like, and the guys, you had more pose-offs, and like, it was just kind of like, just a bit more chill, hey? And that's kind of a benefit. I felt like that was quite cool.
Yeah, that's it. And so again, like going back to what I said before, they utilized it for what it was, played it to their advantage, and let people have more stage time and get that extra experience. And I think they worked it well. They made it a great show.
They did, yeah. And you can tell that they want the best for their athletes. It's not like, oh, let's just get the show wrapped up. Like, it's like, let's actually try to, make the most of this and get everything we can out of it. It's cool. It's fun to watch. And then when they get Kate up there and do her posing, like, let's just fill in some time and grab the pros out of the audience and get them up here and get their kid off. Like, it's always fun, Let's talk about our placings for this show, hey? Let's go dive into that. There was a few divisions that were missing because it was a smaller show, so there was no wellness. And I don't think there was any figure. There was only women's physique and then bikini, I'm pretty sure. So we had a couple of missing little ones for this first show, but that's okay. They're coming in hot. There's still girls coming on for the next shows. Nationals won't be empty, so we're all good. But did you see any of what did you see? What divisions did you get to actually watch from down in the crowd?
I got to see some of the classic and I got to see some of the men's physique.
Cool, yeah.
Just because the bikini girls and stuff were on right before we went out as but so I didn't really get to see them in their light. So I guess I can't really speak much on that. What I did notice after looking back at some of just as a coach, I wanted to see what sort of people had captured, and I guess the main thing that I got to see from bikini was just in this show, a lack of preparation, I guess, especially in terms of posing, which, yeah, a little bit, I guess, sad.
Yeah, there's a little bit. First show of the season too. You're like, come on, girls, let's see what we got on the stage this year. And it's like, just looked a little bit unprepared. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it, right? Yeah.
I don't know how that sort of come about. Maybe they got wind of that it was a small show, so that they'll do it. And I guess in that respect, taking advantage of, you know, being able to jump up there without too much competition, so maybe a little bit less nerves.
Yeah.
All right, but I mean, I don't know. If you're doing a show, you're doing a show.
Yeah, go hard or go home, hey. Get it done.
How many times a week are you practicing your posing?
Me, every day, man. Yeah. Fucked. But yeah, it's a big thing. And sitting next to Kate, watching the whole show and posing coach herself, you know, it's kind of good getting that feedback. And we'll talk about it in the next episode. I was sitting next to Rhiannon, Kate, and then you. So I had a lot of different opinions on the posing, but Kate was just kind of going through about what she felt let down about on the posing on the day. But the girls showed up, they got it done. There was play scenes, you know, some of them are going to be at nationals, so we'll see how they go. They'll probably watch the rest of the shows and be like, fuck. I better whip it up, you know.
Yeah. That's sort of where I was sort of directing to as well. Like in a small show, it's easy to sort of, I know for me, what did I really win? Like there was no one else there, but it's a you versus you thing, and you want to go up there and know you, man, you've done everything you could, and so you bring the show. And so almost the smaller the show, the greater the responsibility, I guess. And then you kind of, it depends if you're a first timer too. Like for me, I wouldn't want to do a small show for my first time. I'd rather just go straight in with the big fish, fucking see where I land, and then it's sink or swim for me. I don't know, some people prefer it the other way, but I get it. But we had a women's physique winner. I think she was the only one that competed as well in that division. Her name was Angela Wilkinson, so congrats to her. She'll be at nationals, pumping the physique for the women, and we need to pump that division and figure. We're going to pump those babies up. They're going to go. I've got some girls to get on the pod, so stay tuned for those guys from physique and figure. There's quite a few figure chicks coming on the pod. So for bikini, our winner was Coco Do. Did you see her, Coco Do, backstage? She looked pretty good. She was great on stage too. But again, you probably missed a few of the bikini girls, didn't you? So next up was bodybuilding. I wonder who won that division. Frank Carroll. Yeah. What was it like? Was it still a good win? Were you happy? Well, tell us about your win. Were you happy with it? Were you stoked? Like, I was happy, and like I said before.
Yeah.
Well, like I went into the show. That was a 100% me versus me thing. Man, I had, I guess, my own vendetta, correct, from previous couple of shows. I had retired from competing, and so there was, I guess, a bit of a point to prove that I could still do it, that I could do it well, and I feel like I know that I've still got more to give as well, which is in part why I decided to continue on and do nationals as well.
Yeah, nice.
But I was happy with what I brought once I seen what I brought, because being on stage was just like, what I will say is I'm far from stage fit. It's been a good few years, and so that was hard. I was great, even just after that. So
it's hard. Hey, being stage fit. Ooh, I think that needs its own episode, probably, is talking about stage fit, posing fit, like all of that needs its own one. Like, I'm practicing that at the moment, and it's just, we got a whole bunch of the girls together and just hired a stage and just practiced, like just comparisons, call out, and like an hour of that, and we were all just like gassed, absolutely gassed, and it's like some people just aren't ready for that, and it's just, you've got to practice that stuff. And obviously you noticed that might have been your little weakness this time.
Yeah, man, big time. And it wasn't that I hadn't practiced posing, and it's like, I've still been doing this a long time. It's not like you forget how to do it, but the being under the lights and the heat, and oh man, I need to spend some more time posing. Well, how often do you practice? Do you actually practice every week, or like do you have a schedule, or do you just pick it up when you can? honestly, for me, and I could do way better at this, is I might, after a couple of sessions a week, just after I've trained, go and spend a little bit of time in the mirror every time I get out of the shower, every time I walk past the mirror. I could definitely put more into that myself, and I will. Yeah, because one thing that I definitely noticed for me now is that, like, I'm a lot bigger than the last time I competed, and so posing feels a lot different.
True. Yeah, you don't even think about that, how your size will make a difference. And then, it'll just feel different too, eh? That's crazy. Yeah.
It was heaps different. I seen my posing back, and I was happy with it still.
Yeah.
But if I'm up there at nationals, I'm going to be against, or when I'm up there at nationals, I'm going to be against, the winners of other shows that are going to be good, that are going to be stage fit, and so, that's all part of the extra package that you got to bring.
Yeah, for sure.
Ready to go for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole package. It's not just look in the piece. You've got to be able to pose too, right? It's all part of it. Yeah. Do you think there'll be many, like, a good, like, bunch of guys on the stage for bodybuilding this year? Like, do you have any sort of, like, have you heard wind that there's a whole bunch of great people competing, or, like, do you think, or you don't even worry about that?
I myself don't worry about it.
Yeah,
and
nice.
I don't. Yeah, not to sort of be. Not that I'm not interested in what anyone else is doing or anything like that. One, I'm generally too busy to keep a track of who else is maybe doing it, and you just don't know who else is gonna be there. And so, there's a few people that I think will probably be on stage with me, and that's cool. But the amount of times that you'll rock up to a show and that person steps out that you never even knew existed.
Yeah, that's cool, eh?
Yeah. But what I know is that everyone on that national stage is a winner. So
yeah, exactly. I love it. It's so exciting. I cannot wait for nationals this year. It's gonna be good. It's creeping up quick too, isn't it? Like, what are we at? 14 weeks out? Oh no, 16 weeks out from nationals now, eh?
Oh yeah, no, it chews up, man. Goes
So
quick.
good. Oh my god.
Once the season starts, it's
Lucky we're over before summer though.
Yeah. Take that shape into summer, and
reverse diet properly, and then we're off.
Eyes are
At least we'll have abs. Let's talk about our last two winners. We had men's physique and classic physique. Men's physique was, I'm not even going to try and pronunciate this name, dude. I'll butcher it. I'm sorry, but his first name's Enoch. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. So noticed him last year. And dude he's got some killer potential. I don't know much about him, but man, I know that if he put a bit more into it again, posing, bro, if you watch this, you got mad potential. And I think everyone that sees him, would say the same. It would be epic to see him really come into the light.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be so cool. He looks great. Men's physique. He'll be at nationals too, guys, so keep an eye out for him too. And then classic physique was Philip. And I'm sure probably Philip, he's probably the biggest name on here, isn't he? A lot of people know who Philip is, I think. I'm pretty sure. But what do you think about him? What do you think about his win?
The dude's all class, eh? He looks great. I'm excited to see him come back at nationals and see what else he pulls together, because we know that there's some good competition in that class. But he looks sharp.
Yeah, he's great. And he just has that stage presence. Like, he comes out and everyone's just like, woo, he just knows what he's doing. He looks good. So he'll be great at nationals to put up a little bit of, like, competition, spice it up. Love classic physique. I love the men's divisions now. I'm getting right into them. I don't know much of them, learning, but but it's fun to watch.
I think so. Yeah, I think classic physique's starting to find its feet here now. I think, and so there's a few good guys coming through this year. I think classic physique will be a good run this year. Yeah,
and we'll talk about that in our next episode with the Body of Steel. There was a few goodies in there too, so we'll talk about those guys that got up just a few weeks ago in June. But just quickly on the posing thing from a male's point of view and stuff, because obviously I've got Rhiannon, Kate, your wife, she's a great coach, all for posing. What about men? Do men have posing coaches they can go to? Like, how would a male, like, uplift their posing? What kind of tips would you have with getting better at that?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I think, I mean, if your coach can help you with that, then that'd be ideal. But I think, like, you know, there's I don't think that there's many posing, if any, posing coaches for men. I know that I'll start taking some on. We're going to set up our garage into a posing studio, so I'll take advantage of being able to do a bit more there. But I think the next best thing you can do is you know, keep a track of who, you know, look at who's on stage, look at who's posing well, and inquire of them. And even if you're just catching up with them on just a real just low-key basis to practice with them,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Or like you said, your coach should kind of know what they're doing, especially if they've got a past in bodybuilding, I guess. But
if you look at the main coaches here, most of them will have a good idea of, like, and so when you're doing their check-ins, you know, catching up with them and touching on that as well. Helping them.
Get yourself a good coach who knows the whole thing, and then you won't have to worry about going to different places and like learning off YouTube and figuring it all out like that. It'd be hard to be like I didn't even think about that just then. Until then, I was like, women have got so many options for posing coaches and stuff here. Well, it's getting better, you know, like it wasn't that great. It's growing for sure. But men, I was like, I don't know where they go. But like, Marjon teaches for him. I'm under Team Abelardo. You do it as well. Ash Mallet, like a few of the coaches can do all of the trades in one. Get you a coach. But yeah, that's pretty much the show, dude. It was kind of small. So we just went over all of our winners. We're going to see them all at Nationals. So they're going to be able to watch the rest of the shows, do their homework, get their feedback from the judges, which is another good thing about doing a show a wee while out. You get that feedback, like, oh, go grow your glutes to the bikini girls. And like, fuck, I actually need that 20 weeks to like, go get it. Or sort your posing out or any of it, you know, it's like, it's a good amount of time to do your homework, hey? Get prepared. But that's it. We'll pretty much wrap it up here. We'll jump on a pod again for our Body of Steel comp. But was there anything else that you wanted to add on that show? Was there anything else I might have missed from the Auckland champs?
No, I think that was basically it. I think I will probably talk about it over coming pods, but like the effort that is getting put into you know, trying to build a culture by the NZIFBB with, you know, how they're running the shows and you know, I think and the same as like in part of like, you know, why we're doing this as well. So I guess just a note to like be a part of it as an athlete, as a spectator.
Sure. Support the sport, man. Fucking support the sport. 100%. Like if you're into bodybuilding, go watch the shows, follow your favorite athletes, like, you know, like get amongst it all. So actually on that note, we should probably talk about where people can buy tickets. It's just NZIFBB.NZ, guys. It's not hard. And it's $50 a show. So for a person to go and buy a ticket to go to a show, it's $50. And it goes towards the shows like production and getting, you know, actually put together. So it's important, you know, and they don't just take the money and run. It goes into actually putting on a proper good show and like looking after the athletes and giving you guys like little, because you guys get things to take home with you, don't you? Like from Extreme and like, you know, you get hooked up a little bit, but the more we pump it into it, the more they can look after the athletes and give you guys like really good medals and trophies and really cool venues. And like, you know, it's only going to get better. So support the sport, man. Support the sport, guys. All right, Frank, I'll leave you there. We'll be up with our next episode really, really soon, guys. So stay tuned for another few of these IFBB wrap-ups. Thanks, Frank.
Rock.
All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.
Hey.